Put your money intact, put your money intact. Invest and show that your money come back. Put your money intact, put your money intact. Invest and show that your money come back. Everybody say, one child, one youth, one tack. One child, one youth, one tack, 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 tack. Become financially free. Join the abundance community, diaspora city. Yeah, we got global accessibility. Your future, your currency. Everybody say, one child, one youth, one tack. One child, one youth, one tack, 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 tack. Become financially free. Join the Abundance Community Diaspora City. Contact our website or social media for more info. Everybody say, one child, one youth, one tack. One child, one youth, one tack, 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 tack.
Okay. Good day. Hello to all TIans who have come to our training session today. Last week we had a phenomenal seminar. I expected a lot more people last week, but I was thankful for those who showed up because there was really important information there submitted on that particular day. So thank you to those of you who showed up. I want to say thank you to the faithful ones who show up here every Saturday. I want to thank the faithful ones who are faithful to TAC. I want to thank the leaders who take the time out to lead the Tiashans. I thank all of you so much. So, what is going to happen today? Today we have another phenomenal training that I am looking forward to. But before I do that, before I introduce our speaker today, I hope all of you listened to Chief Abundance's audio this morning. And we all know that we are now navigating stormy waters. We are. But as he said, we will not sink. We will not break. TAC will not break. The thing is, we do have lessons to learn within that period, and we will come out stronger. There is a saying that goes, when you come out of a storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what the storm is all about. So there are lots of lessons to learn during this period, and we need to allow ourselves to learn those lessons, allow ourselves to ride the waves, and we have to do that together. We have to be united. We cannot be divided, because that is how we're going to stand. That is how we're going to be stronger. That is how we're going to survive. Remember, TAC is a done deal, and we need to believe that and have faith and keep our eyes focused on our mission and what we intend to achieve. And so, without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker, our presenter today. And we all know him, we are very familiar with him. He's none other than Mr. Joel Carr. And as you know, Mr. Joel Carr is the Executive Director for North America, Latin America, and the Caribbean. And he's also my Deputy Director of Training, Human Resource Development, and Communications. Now, Mr. Carr is going to speak about a topic that he has spoken about before, but because it is such an important topic, as a matter of fact, it was requested by some Tiashans that he speaks about it again. And so today, Mr. Carr is going to speak on the topic, how exchanges create liquidity and what role we can play, each of us can play in adding to it. Mr. Carr, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Director. It's always a pleasure to work along your side and to definitely learn at your feet. I really want to appreciate the 59 and counting Tiashans that really took the time out this afternoon to be here. As the director said, this is normally we call these kind of sessions or trainings a rebroadcast. However, I'm not playing a recording so that it would be a verbatim or a word for word reproduction of the training that would have taken place before. But it's going to be covering the same information. It's actually going to be the same presentation as would have been requested by some Tiashans. I'd have a few things tweaked or added. But this afternoon, we're going to be looking again at how exchanges create liquidity and what role I can play in adding to it. And so just waiting on technology. There you go. Um, my computer wasn't responding, but it's good to go now. So yes, as I mentioned, the topic just quickly how exchanges create liquidity and what role I can play in adding to it. And so this afternoon, very quickly, we can move along quickly this afternoon. We're going to be looking at what is liquidity and why does it matter. Now we see, of course, a nice rushing river, nice flowing stream, and I use that to reference liquidity as liquidity is, in simple terms, is the ease with which an asset can be bought or sold quickly without significantly affecting its price. Now think of it as how easy you can turn something into cash or another asset. So you have, and this afternoon we are looking at, we have our TAC. It's how easy can I turn my TAC coins I have or any other crypto into cash. So how easy can I turn it into something else? That is really what liquidity is. And liquidity is the lifeblood of any market. It's about how easy you can buy or sell an asset without causing a big price swing. And as I would have said at some point before, it it's important to note without causing a big price swing. Because if you sell something for, let's say, we have our TAC coins, the price is currently $20.50. If we have to perhaps drop the price to $5 or even $1, that really does not represent what we would call a liquid market or liquid situation, because the value would have been $20 and we would have to drop the price almost 20 folds in order to get someone to buy your asset. And so that wouldn't be considered, although you would be selling, it would not be considered that you have good liquidity. And so it's important the price has to be close or similar to what it would have been offered for sale. And so liquidity is the lifeblood of any market. It's about how easy you can buy or sell an asset without causing a big price swing. Okay? A highly liquid market is like a flowing river. Assets move smoothly and efficiently. And of course, that's why I chose the analogy. See how this water is just rushing down here nice and steady. That's how you want your market. And the question is, why does it matter? Why does liquidity matter? Now we all know from previous training, we would have established that an exchange is akin or similar or to a marketplace. It's a place where buyers and sellers congregate or come to and or perform trades. So you have something to sell, I have something to buy. We meet at the market and we exchange goods or services for money or other valuables. And so we know that we say in the marketplace, why does it matter that the marketplace has liquidity or what we would call good liquidity? This picture here is one that depicts a market that is robust, a market that's lively, that's busy, a market that's interactive. You can see that you have a lot of persons who are selling or have goods for sale, and a lot of persons who are interested in what these persons have to sell. And that is the situation we're hoping to create. That's why liquidity is important. We want to make sure that on our stock exchange, we have a situation where we have not only sellers, persons who have coins that they want to cash in, as the saying goes, but they're also investors, they're also buyers, persons who are willing, interested, and persons who would part with their monies, their fiat, to then hold our TAC coins because of the vision, the mission, the plans that TAC have for the future, that they would see the value. When they show up to the marketplace, when you show up to a market, traditional market now, and you see a stall with potatoes. Now I know in Antigua right now, as we're going through the Easter season, we like to make some dishes with sweet potatoes, and so and flour and coconut makes a nice meal. So when you go to the market and you see a bunch of potatoes, sweet potatoes, you would examine them. If they are satisfactory, you see, well, okay, they're not spoiled, they look like they're nice and firm, and that they would give you a good um, product, a meal, once you prepare it in the future. When you go home and you peel it and you cook it, then you would be willing to pay that vendor and take those potatoes. Of course, you look and they're spoiled and they don't look to be the good size, or you may not want them. And so there has to be a reason for you to give up your money and decide to hold those potatoes. It is the exact same thing when you're dealing with just about any asset in the world. What's going to cause me to want to give up the cash, the paper money, my bank notes that I have, and hold this asset? So that's where we have two unwanted markets that we have to consider. We see at the picture at the top, that's this one at the top of here. It's a market that has a lot of persons that are selling. And so you see sellers, their stalls are filled with goods, but there is no one coming through to buy. And we also have a market down at the bottom, which also is a situation that can be created, where you have no sellers, but persons are looking to buy. That's a case where you have a situation where you can have a situation where all of the coins that are available have been bought out by everybody. And because the coins are in such high demand, everybody's holding what they have and seeing if they can get more. And so you have a situation where persons who also have an interest in acquiring coins, that they are showing up at your marketplace, at your exchange, and they're placing orders to buy coins, but there is no coins available to sell. And that's also what you would call a market that's not liquid as well, because persons are there to trade, but nobody is willing to part with their coins because they are too valuable. I mean, that's a situation that can be remedied as persons are willing to pay more. That's a welcome situation, because it means they'll pay a lot more to motivate persons to stop holding and to start to do some selling. And so in an ideal market, so you don't want a situation where persons are unwilling to sell and persons are unwilling to buy. You want to have an ideal market where you have willing sellers and willing buyers. And that's the situation we're seeing here. Willing sellers and willing buyers. And that is what is going to cause that flow like the river. Persons are going to be trading assets, coins for money, and we have a nice smooth flow. So that is in essence what we're looking at when we consider liquidity. Some of the some of the technical foundations for liquidity that we looked at in the past, and we'll look again quickly at this afternoon, is the order book. Okay, so we know we have gone into TAC exchange. When you go on the exchange icon, you see all these nice figures laid out there. Um, the order book is a central record of all outstanding buy and sell orders for a particular asset. It's a list of willing buyers who place bids and sellers who place ask. At the heart of any exchange is the order book. This is constantly updating a list of all the buyers and sellers, the orders that traders have placed. It is the core data structure that enables price discovery. And so on the order book, you're going to have persons placing an order to buy and persons placing an order to sell. And so that is what's going to help persons to have price discovery, or discover, okay, what's the price people are willing to sell their coins at, and what are the price people, individual investors are willing to sell their coins at. So the order book will be holding all this information, all the buy orders, all the sell orders on the exchange. And this helps to create a case where you have stable prices. You have a situation where you can see persons selling reasonable bids, reasonable sells, and on the order book. And it helps to attract more traders, because of course if you're going to a market and people, it's a human experience. We tend to like to be where the crowd is. And if you have a situation where you go to a supermarket and you're not seeing anybody in there, or you go to a marketplace and you're not seeing much people, you tend to be a little more hesitant to be the first. But once people start to file in and you go to a market and you see it's nice and crowded like this, you figure there's something there of interest. And so you too will at least exercise some curiosity and go in to the marketplace. And so that's one thing, that the order book, when you go to an exchange and you go and you take a look at the order book, and you tend to see all the buy and sell orders that are there, and you tend to see some robust transactions being taken place there. It does create interest in you as well as a potential investor. Now, in addition to that order book, where he has the record of the buys and the sell orders of various investors. You also have the matching engine. Now, the function of the matching engine is a software that continuously scans the order books. So that order book that has the buy and sell orders, this matching engine now scans that order book and it matches compatible buys and sell orders and executes the trade. The matching engine is the brain of the exchange. It constantly searches the order book for matching buyers and sellers. When a match is found, it executes the trade automatically and efficiently. So, a person, they place an order, I'm willing to sell 5 TAC for $10, or in this case, let's say $20.50. And someone also places a buy order and express that I would like to buy, say, 5 TAC for $20.50. So you have a buy order and a sell order that matches, and the matching engine will automatically execute that trade and constantly update the exchange just so that that buy order is no longer that sell order would no longer be there, because it would have already been bought by somebody. So that is constantly being updated, and the matching engine constantly matches buy and sell orders together and execute trades on the exchange. Okay, so during the recently concluded seminar, I decided, um, based on a lot of feedback that was being placed in the forum, whether it be the developers chat or on Telegram, or whenever some Tiashans have the opportunity, they post various concerns, questions, and admin pays attention to, because we're all here to teach and to learn from each other. And so, as various points are placed, admin has a responsibility to examine it, to see how it works, if it can work, whether or not we need to provide context, feedback, education to the community so that we could all advance forward in this crypto space. And so a lot of persons were asking the question, why, after we would have gone through the soft cap, the hard cap, we would have sold coins, raised funds, why doesn't admin just take those funds, or even a portion of those funds, and place them back into the exchange as liquidity, so that I could cash out my coins? I have my 5 TAC, I would like to liquidate, I would like to sell them and take care of my business. Admin has money they got from selling coins during the hard cap process. Why not just put it back in the exchange and create liquidity? And so I decided to put some figures together, to crunch some figures, to bring an illustration to the community, something for us to consider. And so I decided to do an illustration where, let's say during the hard cap phase, for example, we would have sold 300,000 TAC coins at various prices. So we, as you can see laid out here, we would have sold 100. This is illustration, eh? So these are not actual figures. These are just used for illustration purposes. So let's say we would have sold 150,000 TAC coins at $1. We know that's $150,000. 100,000 TAC at $5, that's 500,000. 20,000 at $7, that's 140,000. 15,000 TAC coins at $10, that's 150,000. 10,000 at 15, 150,000. 5,000 at $20.50. That's $102,500. And so the 300,000 coins would have yielded or been sold for 1,192,500. And this, of course, is US dollars as a standard currently the global trading currency. So 1,192,500 dollars would have been raised from that particular cap. And so the question before the House, why not just take a portion of it, put back into liquidity, let's get the exchange up and going. Now, as I also said, this doesn't take into consideration that an exchange has to be built and maintained. You have to have you have to cover costs for hosting, third-party vendors, security. We're not taking any of the expenses that should be taken into consideration as naturally going to have to come out of the funds that you raise during these hard and soft caps, because you're raising funds to execute the project. You're raising the funds to execute various aspects of the project. That's how it works. But we're not, this afternoon, for the purposes of what was asked, we're going to leave out all the overheads that naturally should come out of this money that was raised. And we're going to use the entire $1,192,500 that was raised. And we're going to say, what if you were to put that back into the exchange as liquidity? How far would that go? And so we see on this line here that we take the 1,192,500 and we divide it by the current price that TAC is being sold at, which is $20.50. And that would allow us to liquidate 58,170 TAC coins. Again, the 1,192,500 that would have been raised in its entirety, if we were to liquidate all of it, for the current price of TAC, you would only be able to buy back, as it were, 58,170 TAC coins. And so if we take the 300,000 coins that were sold and subtract how much we'll be able to buy back, you still have 241,829 TAC that still would be sitting in Tiashan's wallets, investors' wallets, with now zero liquidity to do anything with them. And we haven't gone into the complications as to who should be allowed to be able to liquidate their coins, who based on what amount. But even if we were to say, you know what, this 58,000 coins that could be liquidated, let's say of the 100+ thousand Tiashans that we have in the TAC community, let's say we were to say even 30,000 of those want to liquidate some coins. At about, let's say an average, this is about 60. So we can do for simple maths, if we say 60,000 and 30,000 persons want to liquidate from the 100,000 persons that have accounts, this would mean each individual would only be able to liquidate 2 TAC coins. So 30,000 people, each selling 2 TAC coins, that would consume the 58,000 easily. And so we have to, looking at the figures this afternoon, we have to realize that if we're going to have this as a sustainable situation and one that makes good sense and one that provides for sustainable exchange going forward. It cannot be simply enough to expect that the money is raised at various prices could now be used back to provide liquidity for the exchange at the higher price that the coin is now being sold at. Because it simply will not work. It makes no sense for persons to be able to liquidate two coins. We're talking about $41 US and 30,000 Tiashans, each getting $41. And that's it. Every funds raised would be done. We still would not have built the exchange or been able to sustain it, secure it, continually host it. We would have exhausted all our funds for $41. We're not here just looking for the next quick fix. And so admin has to consider the totality of the picture. At times, as individuals, we look at situations and we say to ourselves, they raise $1 million. Why they don't put some of it so that I can cash out my 10 coins that I have? But understand that admin has to consider the entire community. When the leadership enact policies and the admin and Mr. Abundance, when he executes policies, he has to consider the entire community. And if we are considering the entire community, I don't think we're looking forward to liquidating two TAC at $41 and consume the entire situation and we pack up. I also drew a second analogy to help to match the figures as well. And so I asked us to consider a farmer. And what I said was, we have a farmer. He would have planted, let's say mangoes. He has a bunch of mango trees on his farm. He planted those mangoes. He now has all his mango trees bare. So he has a whole lot of mangoes. He has a truck. He loads up his trucks of mangoes and he's deciding, I am going to go to the market, I'm bulk producing, and I'm going to sell my mangoes. On his way to the marketplace, he meets several small retailers along the way. And they decide, you know what, you're a bulk producer, we would like to buy some of your mangoes even before you get to the marketplace. The farmer, as most farmers tend to do, because persons are buying in bulk from him early, he might decide, you know what, I'm going to sell you these mangoes at $3 per pound. And so he sells the mangoes at $3 per pound. He sells. Then these retailers leave and they go to the marketplace because their expectation is to buy to sell over. And so they want to liquidate their mangoes that they would have bought. And naturally, they're going to place these mangoes at a higher price than the price they would have bought them for, because that's the nature of business. And so they head to the marketplace. They now put on their stalls, their mangoes, they put $10 on them, some put $15 on them, and etc. And this farmer, who still has some mangoes, he comes to the marketplace a little later. And having been there, he decides, you know what, persons aren't really buying the mangoes from these retailers that bought them. So I am going to buy back these mangoes from all these retailers. They would have bought them for me for $3, but they're now selling them for $10, for $15, $20 a pound. So I'm going to buy it back from them. So the money is the $3 per pound that he sold them at. Those funds would not be sufficient to now buy back the same mangoes. And we have to ask ourselves, which farmer would ever do that? That doesn't make for good economic sense, for good business sense. There could be no expectation, and we would all consider it not wise or crazy in some cases to have an expectation that the farmer would now buy back those same mangoes that he sold up the road for $3 now at $10 and $20. We would consider it, most of us would consider it crazy, or at the very least not wise. It would naturally be expected that those retailers, having got to the marketplace or even on their way there, to be able to call their friends, their families, to put up advertising, to shout along the way, hey, I'm going to the market, I'm going to be selling mangoes. I would have found, obviously, these retailers would have known these mangoes are nice and juicy. They're sun ripe, so they pick straight off the tree. Um, they're nice and yellow. They would have found ways to naturally get the word out that they are going to be selling mangoes at the marketplace. So that when they
Uh,
get to the marketplace, hi,
Mr. Carr, yes, I think we should stop the recording and start it again.
okay. Yes, thank you, Director. Um, Although I may still have to end up once you once you're using image in WhatsApp, it tends not to go based on the time, but rather the size. So WhatsApp's limitation is really the size of your file. So they seem to have about a 60 something megabyte file limit size. So you still may end up have to divide up the presentation several times. So as thank you very much. As I was saying, the farmer, and in this case we're saying the admin, could naturally not be expected to be the one to buy back all his mangoes that he would have sold earlier at a cheaper price, now at a more expensive price. Likewise, the admin, having sold tack along the way as we head to the marketplace at $1, at $5, at $7, at $10, at $15, to now expect the admin to use all the resources gathered to buy back these coins at $20.50 now. It could not be considered a reasonable expectation. Because it's naturally would have been expected that these retailers, having bought from the wholesale farmer, to now put up their stalls, put up their signs, get the word out. If they have to go out in front of their stalls, create a nice jingle to invite persons. We've all seen how people operate, and maybe even some of us would have been in the business of selling various goods and services, and so we all have seen various strategies being utilized to resell things that would have been bought wholesale or from farmers. But never is the expectation that the farmer is the one that has to come along and buy back these goods. And so that's the very same thing we're requiring of TAC admin, to be the ones to buy back our coins and create, as it were, that liquidity for us with no effort on our part, to be the ones to go out, market our product, our coins, learn about, which brings me to the next section, what role can I play in adding liquidity to our exchange? Now, naturally, we should be the ones in conjunction or in addition to admin playing this part in creating the word, the excitement, the visibility, so that persons would be attracted to our product and to our marketplace. So what can I do besides sitting down and looking to admin to do all the work necessary to market my investment, my product, so that persons will be attracted to buy it from me? Simple things as knowing about your product. As I used the analogy earlier, if you got the mangoes, you're going to examine them. You're going to realize these are sun-ripe, they're not set-up mangoes. So they're probably going to be a lot sweeter because they were picked straight off the tree. They're nice and yellow. They weren't produced with the use of harmful chemicals. You get to know about your product so that you're able now to show what is the competitive advantage for other persons to, to buy your product, to buy your mangoes, to buy your coins, as opposed to buying another. Because there are going to be many persons selling. There would have even been people selling at the same market who has mangoes or other fruits that they may not even have bought from that vendor. And they're all competing for the resources that are at that marketplace. And so you can sit down and hope persons come to your stall to buy, or you can be proactive and attract people to your stall to buy. And this afternoon, what we are suggesting is that we take the proactive approach where we attract persons to our stall, to our marketplace, to our exchange. And this begins with you understanding your product. And so you're able, or you're better able, to share it with friends, with family, with acquaintances, with coworkers, with whoever you come into contact with, and you decide to have a conversation about the product that you have. If you first understand that product, understand where it's going, what it's trying to achieve, understand the realistic timelines that are involved in your product, then you're better able to share it with others. And as they buy into your product, they would come in with realistic expectations, realistic goals. They would not come in with one expectation, and when that doesn't pan out because you give them certain strict information, then it doesn't work out. They end up at your throat because you told them one thing and it didn't work out to be another. But if you understand the totality of your product and the reality of what you're presenting, then persons will be able to buy into a more informed product and an informed situation that will allow them to naturally have the patience required to see it through to maturity. And so this afternoon, there are a couple of suggestions that I've put together. There may be more. You may be able to share some that you have thought of that I may not have thought of, or leadership may not have thought of, that you can put forward in addition to these, that can help to attract persons to our marketplace and to our product. So I said share talk with friends and family. Now that's something we all can do. Some of us have been doing it, some of us have done it, some of us may not have. And so the encouragement this afternoon is to if we understand where we're going and the fact that TAC isn't going anywhere, TAC is a done deal. TAC is too important to fail, and the Mr. Abundance, our CEO, and the leadership, we will do everything necessary. In addition, with every Tiashan, working hand in hand for us to accomplish the mission and the vision that we have set out to accomplish. And so as we understand and become a part of that whole dynamic, we're able or better able to share talk with our friends, with our families, and to do the personal promotion that would be able to spread talk at the grassroots level. Because a couple of years ago, I think it was back when President Obama would have been running for the White House, that he really mainstreamed this concept of grassroots support, where persons were given small donations that became a groundswell of support. And never underestimate the power of getting down to the grassroots, getting to individual families and friends. Now, we always like to take note of the big seminars or the things that tend to target mass audience, and that has its place. That is quite useful. But also, we have to recognize the power of individual connections. You would have had circles. Each of us maybe have circles. We have 300-400 friends on Facebook or various platforms, WhatsApp, status, Facebook, YouTube. If we take the time to promote talk on our various platforms, some of these persons, I mean, we put up information that may be thought provoking. Persons may reach out to want to know, hey, tell me a little more about this. What is this tag thing that you always put up on your WhatsApp status? What is it about? And then now, because you understand what is happening and where we're going, what the mission, what the purpose of TAC is, and what are the benefits of these individuals, these friends, families, etc., holding TAC for the future, then you're able to convince them not only to take a second look. This means now you know where TAC website is. You can at least find the white paper. You can get the white paper to them. Basic things like these. You're not only able to suggest or invite them to have a second look at TAC, but you're able also to show them why they should buy into TAC and help create that liquidity that you want. Because it's these new buyers that are going to buy the coins that you're putting up to sell, the mangoes that you're putting up on your stall. We're going to see if I'm selling mangoes, I'm going to call my brothers, my cousins, my friends. I'm going to tell them, hey, I'm going to be at the market selling mangoes between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. Come now and buy some mangoes. These are the best mangoes you'll be able to have, because they didn't make those, chemicals. They pick straight off the tree, things like that. So it is the same principle and concept that we are suggesting we do, the approach that we take with TAC, that if we can reach persons at the grassroots level, your friends, your families, your individual circles, that we can create this groundswell of spreading the word and the benefits of TAC, that we would see a flood of persons coming to our marketplace to buy TAC. And also, if we understand and know exactly about TAC, we can create and distribute simple informational materials. I can make a flyer. I can create a fact sheet of various things. What's the address for the TAC website? What's the address for the TAC exchange? Um, what is the current price of TAC? What are some of the initial benefits of TAC? Social programs that TAC is executing? What's the mission and vision of TAC? Um, Various things like these. You could sometimes you put those together on a nice quick sheet for somebody. You can hand out that to somebody you come into contact with. They take it. They take a. That's how they advertise FETs and different seminars in the corporate world. That's how they do it. You sometimes you go back to your vehicle and you see something stuck on your windshield, a flyer advertising a FET, a jam that's coming up. That's how the word spreads. It has all the information you need there, the time, the date, the price, the theme. So if we could tap into some of these things as well to help get that word out, because it's all about flooding this marketplace of ours with willing buyers who want to buy the product that we have to sell. And they are coming as informed buyers, and so it will create this continuous process of buying and selling. I was also looking at merchant trading systems for goods and services. Now, this is something for us to consider as individuals, as Tiashans. We may have businesses, we may have goods and services that we can make available. And what we're saying with this particular point is that you can begin to look at the goods and services, whether it is a traditional or a registered business or not, that you can begin to look at, for example, what percentage of tax I may be willing to accept in my business place versus what percentage of fiat. So, for example, I may decide, you know what, I can provide singing lessons or music lessons. I don't mind taking 50% of my fee in the form of TAC coins and 50% in the form of cash. So I may decide to do that. So that is one way I can create liquidity for TAC as well. I'm creating a demand for TAC coins, an opportunity, a utility for TAC coin. And of course, because I understand where TAC is going and the future value that is involved, I don't mind providing a music service now where you're paying me a TAC coin worth $20.50, for example, and down the road, that same TAC coin might be valued at thousands. And so I am making an investment for the future as well, because I understand where TAC is going and what TAC is going to accomplish for the future. I am looking at the initial investment now into the future. And so I don't mind providing goods and services to Tiashans now that they could begin to create this utility, this use case where I have a business and I don't mind putting up a sign saying TAC coins accepted here. Even if you want to say part payment of TAC coins accepted here, however you choose to do it. But persons will be able to come into your business place, whether it is locally where they are or through the online environment, and be able to pay for goods and services in part or in full using TAC coins. All this creates liquidity, though this liquidity might not necessarily pass through the exchange. It creates a demand and a supply situation for TAC coins that eventually the persons that are buying your goods and services, if they keep buying them with TAC coins, then guess what? They're going to run run out of TAC coins, and so they'll need more TAC coins, and so they may have to come back to the same exchange to top up their TAC coins so that they can continue using them for goods and services. And so they end up right back to that exchange where they're now going to place buy orders that are going to have sell orders they're waiting to match them. And so you see it comes right back to the whole liquidity situation for everybody. And so that is something for us to start to look at, the various goods and services that we can provide, the businesses that we can begin to look at providing, where we accept part or full payment for those goods and services with TAC. And all that is part of how, those are just some of the things that I put together as to how each individual Tiashan can go about creating liquidity for the TAC coin. And this is, of course, in addition to what admin is and will continue to do, because admin has its role to play as well. The CEO, the leadership of TAC, we all have a part to play in it too, not just individually, but in our official capacities as representatives and leaders in TAC. So we will continue the marketing promotion. We see, of course, as I would have mentioned, we know our executive director of global operations, Mr. Otiam. He does TikTok presentations. He does YouTube presentations. We have seen posted in the forums all the various um, invitations to like and subscribe to our various Facebook handles, our um, X, that was formerly Twitter. Those handles, we see that we have invitations to like and to comment and to scrub. All these things help too, because these things work with artificial intelligence and a lot of these bots on the internet. So as you generate traffic around our social media handles, this is what will allow persons to find them easier. When someone go and they search for cryptocurrency, will tap pop up because of the traffic that we all generating. So how many persons have taken the time when they see these posted in the forum to go and like our Facebook page, or to subscribe to our Twitter handle, or any of these things? How many of us take the time out to do it? How many of us take the time to like and to subscribe and to comment, so that it drives up um, the numbers and cause our handles to be found on social media? All these is how we can work together. We know admin has put out articles. Um, the CEO and other leadership have gone and they've gone to the media. They've done interviews. You know, Mr. Abundance is working on various partnerships, um, strategic partnerships with the energy initiative, with the banking initiative, with various things that are being done to invite and to create those avenues for new investors to come into the tech environment. We know we have done affiliate programs. Where we have had persons, referral programs and stuff like that. We have done influencer partnerships. Those are things we can do down the road, because some of these things might have been done before. Some are plans for the future. Some of the things that we can always implement as we continue to move forward, where we partner with influential persons that can help to spread the word and the message out there concerning TAC. So as we see admin working from one angle, if that is equally met with every Tiashan working from the other angles as we both work towards the same goal of spreading the message and the word of TAC, the Abundance Community Coin, so that we can show the whole world why they should buy on and get involved in this community, so that they can come in, buy the coins because they see the future, and the reason why they would want to part with their monies to hold TAC because of the future promises and plans that TAC has down the road. So that is something I really want us to focus on, how we can really get ourselves involved in this whole process of advancing tech, so we can really flood our markets and create more liquidity than every one of us could ever think to need to use to liquidate the coins that we have in our back office. Of course, we have various incentives that there are some of these things, the things that admin looks at. As I said before, we have the referral programs. You can look, we have low trading fees, market taker fee model, volume based discounts. All these things are things that are put in place to attract persons likewise to come and be a part of your marketplace, your exchange. User experience. Of course, we know that is our intention. TAC is going to roll out a mobile app at some point. And of course, our intuitive interface, how easy it is to use our exchange. That's why we do a lot of training, and as we continue to refine things, the customer support, multi-language support, all these are things that we will roll out as we go along to help attract persons to our exchange and our marketplace. The last thing I'd probably just look at is quickly. Let me go over quickly the market maker model, for in case there were anybody that would have missed it. Um, it's basically where we have specialized traders or firms that provide liquidity by continuously placing buy and sell orders on your order books. Market makers are the unsung heroes of liquidity. They are specialized traders or firms that continuously place both buy and sell orders, ensuring that there's always someone willing to trade. And so you can enter into partnerships with market makers who whose function is to continuously place buy and sell orders at various prices on your exchange. So they create this traffic on your exchange, so that whereas it would have had a situation where, let's say, 50 persons place sell orders and nobody's placing buy orders, you would have no liquidity because you would have no trade taking place. However, these market makers would come in and they would be placing those buy orders, and so we know the matching engine would go in, check the order books. Once they find matches, execute those trades, and so you would have trade starting to take place, liquidity starting to flow through the exchange. So these are some of the functions. You could attract market makers with fee rebates. As I said, when they would have placed all those buy orders, the monies that they would have invested to create that liquidity, they can get fee rebates, volume-based discounts based on the amounts that they buy. Some are directly paid for creating this liquidity. Um, and of course, they have access to exclusive API, that's to connect various plugins and stuff to your exchange and stuff like that. So those are some of the benefits that are extended to attract market makers. And as I said, you'd see them place various bid orders and sell orders at various prices, so that they help to fill out and balance your order book, so that as persons are buying and selling. Now, just to be clear, we're not saying that market makers are not going to place a buy order on one side and place a sell order on the other side to match it and execute the trade, and create artificial activity on the exchange. They're actually placing them at various levels, so that it is the buyers and sellers that they're going to be matching to create real liquidity on the exchange. And some of the benefits, of course, they create tighter spreads by closer matching the buy and sell orders. So you don't have these huge price swings on your exchange. Of course, that is to reduce volatility, um, create more stable prices on your exchange. And I have one last thing. Beyond traditional methods, you have innovations in liquidity. These are some of the things we may have seen them in Pancake Swap, Uniswap, um, examples in Diffie, where you have liquidity pools that are automated, that automates the process of matching. When you try, so if you go and you want to buy tap coins, these automatically your buy order would be executed out of these liquidity pools. Um, that of course have benefits to the persons that provide the liquidity to these pools. You can also have a situation where you have cross exchange liquidity sharing. So you have an exchange that's already established, already has a lot of liquidity, a lot of resources, that they could enter into partnerships with your exchange to help provide access to their user base and to their resources to have that liquidity also provided. And so those are some of the things. And so as I end again this afternoon, is just for us to understand the multi-level approach that is necessary for us to all put hands to the wheel. I mean, we all would have entered TAC for whatever reason or the other, based on whatever information we would have gotten, with whatever expectations that we might have. But even if your intention is just to maximize your profits and move on, we have to understand that your your liquidity, your fiat money that you're hoping to maximize, has to come from somewhere real. And so it is the buyers that are going to be buying what you are selling, so that you can get those monies to maximize your returns. And so even beyond the mission and the vision, because sometimes we tend to say, oh, I'm not interested in all this preaching and teaching and all this vision and long-term thing. I just want to cash out my money. We have to understand that it has to come from somewhere real. And we have to also understand, based on the figures that I would have shown you, that admin cannot just take into account your 10 coins that you want to cash out, because we inherently tend to think individualistic rather than think about the collective. But admin has to put policy in place for the collective. And so we're inviting everybody to put hands to the wheels as we come together, work with admin, each one of us, to create as much liquidity as we can on our exchange. All right? And so here's where I'll end, and I'll turn back over to the director. Let me just might as well stop the recording and start it again one time. So, director.
Okay. Okay, I wait for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Carr. This was such an excellent presentation. You hit the nail on the head. You had so many important important points within this presentation. And actually, I can't wait to put it together into a video, a YouTube video, so that we can watch this again and again. I think it's important that we go through this presentation again and again because it will help us understand so many things about tax. I just want to reiterate the points that you made in terms of what role we can play in achieving liquidity. So you said number one was to share tech with others. Number two, promote tech on social media. Number three, curate and distribute informational materials. And we have started that. We do have some. We have our tech booklet, the booklet that we created, the directors of training and research and technology. So we also have that. So maybe we can next look into doing a fact sheet, and so on. And he also spoke about the merchant trading system that we are looking at right now. So thank you, Mr. Carr. I'm going to open the floor for questions. We'll first start with if there are any questions or comments on Mr. Carr's presentation, just raise your hand and I will let you speak. Mr. Fash Success, go ahead, please. Mr. Fash Success, your hand was raised. Okay, anybody else has a question or comment? Okay, then I will also open the floor for general questions, please. The community is very quiet today. I hope y'all are doing okay. Maybe I should ask, are y'all doing okay?
Quite a quiet community, director.
I know they're very quiet. I hope y'all are.
Perhaps they're contemplating how they can all pull up their sleeves and really get into executing some of these suggestions. And maybe they have some of their own.
Yes, that's a very good point. So if anybody, oh, maybe I can ask y'all a question. What do you think you can do based on what you heard today from Mr. Carr? What do you think you can do to promote liquidity and to achieve more liquidity in tech? What can you do? And do you have any other suggestions as to what we can do? Anybody? Now, if you were in my class, if I was teaching at the time, I would be walking around and just, asking you individually. Oh, somebody's hand is up. Let's see. Mr. Akaloy, do you have something to say?
Not really, but I think the training leader has said it all. He has said everything 100%. So I'm 100% cool with what he has said.
Mm-hmm.
Posting pictures on our status, doing a whole lot of flyers on our own, especially the graphic designers. Please, at least you can take a little bit of your time when you are designing. Just do some little flyer about tag and post it on your social media and things. And that is 100% going to bring more customers into tag. I mean, members into tag. Thank you.
Well said, Mr. Akaloy. Thank you.
Hello, good evening.
You ready now, Mr. Fax? Go ahead, Mr. Crypto Prof. Go ahead.
I greet everyone, especially our top leaders and the CEO. In fact, it's amazing for what Mr. Carr has said so far. In fact, it's really through my joy. He has said everything, but I just want to crown what he has said so far.
Hmm. We've lost him again. It seems the network
Hello,
is.
hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Uh, yeah, what I really want to add to it, I'm pleading with all the Tiashan across all levels because what our chief abundant has done, he has done a great job, and everything remains in our hands to take it up from there. We not expect him to do it all. Whatever happened today in TAG, it will happen in our heads, all the Tiashan, and especially the top leaders and the local government, even the state coordinators. What I would like to chip in, I would like to please with our chief abundance for us to create more liquidity on this. You need to look at the angle of the tag some of us are holding, because some of us are holding a large numbers of tag. If there's an approach for him to restrict some of us in time when the time comes, the exchange is running smoothly, so that to restrict our limitation, either daily or weekly or monthly transaction, so that it will add more effective to our liquidity. Because I know my mind. I don't know others leaders' mind. They can just come to the market and just dump whatever they like. They don't care. Please and please, this is our exchange, and we must take it very serious because where we are so far, I'm so much enticed because I never believed tag can get to this extent. Please and please, let's caution ourselves. And I also expect every leaders that we should engage ourselves, as Joel Carr quietly said, we should offer goods and services to boost our liquidity in our various capacity. All the country that tag cut across. This should be our major strategy because it will not be augur well to have something beautiful, something great like this, and we toy with it. The infinite will not forgive us. Please and please, we need our support to see us through what we have been dreaming for because it's not easy to bring something of this nature. Why I'm saying this? Because there was a damages that occur in Nigeria of recent, so-called a Ponzi scheme led by Sebex, as they call. You could imagine how much they took away from Nigeria, $833 million. In fact, when you convert it to naira, it's 1.9 trillion, like one quarter of Nigeria budget. Can you imagine? This is the reason why I said, and I pleaded with our chief, what Nigeria needed is just for us to be licensing with SEC. And I bet us by the time we station in our various places, shop, supermarket, and all that, forget it. We will realize what a Ponzi scheme have taken out from us. Because Nigeria, they believe on seeing is belief. That is what Nigeria is working on. If they have discovered what the tag have in place, I bet you they are ready
Hmm. We lost you, Mr. Fab Success. But I think we
because,
understand.
yeah, because as Nigeria is concerned, all their major concern is for a system like this, like tag, as legit. They don't care where they source the money from, in as much as they see the promises and they see that it's legit and they are getting what they want. Please and please, I beg every one of us that we should put our asana in a situation like this because especially in Nigeria, we have a lot of work to do in tag now because what the Ponzi scheme has done to Nigeria, it will make them remain adamant, except we run our campaign door to door And by the time we take like 2 or 3 people as an example, and they are truly with joy, many of them will be coming out. And I promise, with the way I'm looking at things in Nigeria, between now and December, as we likely said, tag may likely hit more than $100,000. Thank you all, and I greet you. May God continue to bless us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Fact Success. I think Madam Tiny had a comment or question. Madam Tiny? Okay, her hand was up. I'd like to know what some of you think of the merchant idea. Merchant trading your goods and services. You don't have to have a business, but if there are some goods and services that you would like to trade for TAC coins, fully TAC coins, or some TAC and some fiat, I think it's an excellent idea. For example, I love African wear. I absolutely love it. So I would love to purchase that, from you in Africa with either my fiat or my TAC coins. Well, and my TAC coins. Yes, Mr. Colin. Go ahead, Mr. Colin. Your hand was up, Mr. Colin. Okay, Mr. Colin is not speaking. Okay, please raise your hand only if you want to ask a question or if you want to speak. Pastor Awesome, you have a question or comment?
All right, thank you very much, leader. I'm very proud of today's teachings, and this is what is going to help we the Tiashins to understand the exchange and the cryptocurrency that we are holding. I'm very proud of today's teachings, and all Tiashins need to understand what we have invested into, because TAC is a legit cryptocurrency. The frustrations and things that are happening, it is for our own good, because when TAC comes live and everything starts moving on, I don't know, somebody can just give a comment that TAC is this or that. It is we that we are burying TAC in our mind. We are doing, but it is we that we are burying it in our mind, because we need to stretch our minds so that we receive the abundance ideas how to promote tag or take tag from where it is to the next level. It is all up to us. We have to come, because tag is our own. Other cryptocurrencies that we are seeing them trading, they are not for us. It is some people's company that they are promoting, their projects that they are promoting for their own self, but TAC is for us. We all have to come together and understand this presentation tonight, and it's going to help us. Thank you so much, Deputy Director. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Hello.
Miss Pastor. Go ahead, Madam Tiny.
Thank you, Dr. Delia and Mr. Carr. Thank you for your presentation. I'm having a suggestion or a question, but or both suggestion and a question. Based on what the developers have dragged so long, so is it possible, or are we allowed as Tiashans to be the developers, or can we get maybe our kids to be the developers of our exchange, so that at least those are the people who are within us, if we are allowed to do so? It's just my suggestion, or it's just my question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Tiny. You want to take that, Mr. Carr?
Director, did you understand? Am I to understand she was asking if we can have developers from among us?
Yeah, she wants to know if the developers can come from our community as Tiashans. My comment is that this is something that we are working on, and we will
It's
engage.
something that we'll take that into consideration as well as
Yes,
we
exactly,
explore all options. Like nothing is off of
Thank
the
Ex-
you.
table.
Thank
Thank you
you.
exactly,
so very much for
exactly.
thank you for that suggestion. Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Fabrice, your hand was raised, and I allowed you to speak. Do you have a question? Okay, Mr. Melaniana, your hand was up again as well, and I have allowed you to speak. Do you have a question? Okay, those two, I see. It seems some people they are having network problems because it's odd that their hands are raised, and when I allow them to speak, they say nothing.
Yeah, it might be network. It might be network issues as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, maybe we should wrap up. Any final?
Hello,
Go
hello.
ahead.
I would like to chip one more thing. I
Yes.
plead with our chief abundance. Maybe you should organize a live meeting with all the top leaders in so that you can make selection in every country that tack cut across. Maybe either 2 persons or 3 persons in each country who can volunteer themselves to running a P2P trading live in our exchange. Apart from the partnership our CEO is going to engage with. If this can be done, it will help the system. They should look an expert within the house. If anyone among us can volunteer to carry out such assignments, it will be very good for us and it will also add more liquidity to our exchange. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment, Mr. Fact Success. Thank you. Mr. John Paul, I allowed you to speak. Your hand was raised. Do you have a question or comment? Hmm. Okay, let's wrap up. Mr. Redeemer, let's see if I'm allowing you to speak. Go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Okay. I want to say thanks to everyone, the leaders, and the entire Thai community, the Thaians. But there's an issue I don't know, but I'm looking at something because this I can recall Mr. Bonnet he gave a voice call a few days this morning concerning the developer. Hello.
Yes, we're listening.
Okay, concerning the developer. My fear here is because sometimes people do those things to keep certain portion of it out that they can come back and hack the system. So I don't know whether we get strong security system that will help the system that can help the system. That's my concern. I don't really understand. Hello?
Yes, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. What are you afraid about?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm talking about the security system. A few days ago we heard about the past developer, they have some glitch or some issue with the system in developing and making it to work. So my fear there because sometimes they put set all those things in to just create a way that they can come back because they already know about the system, they know how to get into it
Hmm.
and help the system do other things. As we all hear say they help other systems, I don't know. That's one of my concern.
Hmm. 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 Thank you, Mr.
I don't know
Redeemer.
whether it makes
Thank
sense.
you. Thank you for airing your concern. But we are definitely working on this. This is something of top priority for us right now. So just rest assured that we are working on this. Okay, and I don't think you have anything to fear.
Okay, all right. That one. Another issue, maybe I will put it on a group chat. I don't know yet. But one of my major concern I've been taking on from the past recording and this morning recording from the CEO. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Redeemer. Okay, it's time for us to end. I see Mr. Julius. Go ahead, Sir Julius. Your hand was raised. Mr. Fabrice, your hand was raised again. You can speak. You're on mute. Here's another one. Mr. Abu Bakr, you want to speak? Would you like to say something? Yeah, I think people are having network issues.
Yeah, good evening, house.
Oh, here you
Good
are. Go
evening,
ahead,
leader.
Mr. Abu Bakr. Go ahead.
All right, thank you a lot. Thank you all the leaders, all the information that have been shared in this group, and also I've learned a lot what is going on about that. My small comment that I have in to share is, please, all Tiashan, if you have especially patience. Patient who done everything. But if you say you rush in crypto space, there's no rush in crypto space. Anything you want to do must think before. You have to think before you take action. Because in crypto space, today we have learned a lot from our leaders, what happened to them, and they are giving us their story. So we too, this is our begin to learn what is crypto. Those are joining right now, or those that is there already, please, we must pay attention and learn things, because anything is about learning. When you make your mind you want to learn something, it's definitely you must learn. But if you take your mind like you don't care, you will be left behind. So please, all the action, we forget ready for ourselves, because where we are right now is very wonderful, it's very nice in crypto. Hashtag. This small comment I have. Thank you. Better of rain.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abu Bakr. I think that is a great note to end this training on. Yeah, Mr. Abu Bakr said, look at this as learning experience. There's a lot to learn. There is really no rush. So whatever we're going through right now, let's look at this as an opportunity for growth. And let's remain united. United. Let's not fight each other. Let's remain united. Mr. Carr, I really want to thank you again for this enlightening presentation. You really gave us a lot of food today. You gave us something to eat. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Tiashans, thank you so much for coming to this training. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye-bye. If you want to say
Put your money intact, put your money intact, invest and show that your money come back. Put your money intact, put your money intact, invest and show that your money come back. Everybody say, one child, one youth, one tack, one child, one youth, one tack, 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 tack. Become financially free, join the abundance community, diaspora city. Yeah, we got global accessibility, your future, your currency. Everybody say, one child, one youth, one tack, one child, one youth, one tack, 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 tack. Become financially free. Join the Abundance Community Diaspora City. Contact our website or social media for more info. Everybody say, one child, one youth, one tack, one child, one youth, one tack.